We have already decided the winner of the first map. Mirage was to kick off the series. Complexity showed a pretty good performance out of that one, despite very nice attempts by NIP with those incredible timings. This game had been back and forth. No certainty on that whatsoever. But I think this time around it's going to be even harder to decide who's going to win out this map, because it is Ancient, a fresh and very new map that came into consideration of being counted as the main part of map pool. Of course, lots of question about this one, but I'm pretty sure some of the teams have already prepared shenanigans coming into this one. Config takes off one, a fast execute exploding into the B-bomb side by Ninjas, but nothing found so far until now, as Hampus does get a retrade, but I'm not sure it is going to be enough. Poison to get one more, and Hampus is left against 4. He will retrieve the bomb, the very least, but he does not have any clue on JKS coming in from the back. And here comes the back bullet into his head. Great bullets by Config as well. Takes device first off of the engagement, and the rest to follow it up as well. So clean round for Complexity, holding the B-bomb side to their rights. And Ninjas of Pajamas, nothing more done out of that. But this force buy can be won out for sure. You can lock your enemies on the B-bomb side pretty much. It is quite a narrow plant that allows you to take a lot of position out there, especially with close range pistols like Tech 9s, P250s, and even Deagles. Basically, all of the pistols can make up a huge impact on that side of the map specifically. But the first engagement will be seen by Config. He takes Plopsky down towards long, I believe, from the funnel looking position, because if you take a look at the map, it almost looks like there is this lower part of the funnel pointing downwards, and I don't know, that's basically the first thing that came into my mind. But honestly, whenever any new map kicks in, and the map that is actually new, like we haven't seen it previously, we haven't played it previously, it was added with the Broken Fan operation. Like it's not one of the maps that is like cache or something like that could be added to the professional CS, and the players are more or less aware of it. Of course, not on a professional level, but the teams used to play it on a professional level in Inside. So this is why there is there are lots of chances that one of the teams, well, basically most of the teams will know that map more or less, whilst if you are taking your feet on Ancient, it is every single team exploring this map from scratch and making it very hard. It requires a lot of exertion to explore the map from scratch. You've got to think about that. But I think that is also a challenge, a very interesting challenge that forces you to think, to spend a little bit more time to fill that tactical advantage over your enemies. Find that and make sure you exploit it as soon as possible. That is pretty much the same we saw on Vertigo, where Astralis took this map under their control and started dictating their game on the map like that. And they were actually the ones to become the very first team who came out, who had been very dominant on that map. Nobody could beat them. They were considered as kings on that map, and Vertigo to be more precise. But well, this time around it is Ancient, and the one who manages to bend this map down to their control will have a huge advantage in terms of the map pool. They can immediately force that map into equation and make somewhat of a tactical nuclear that can be imposed on your enemies, on other teams. But okay, a response from Complexity. Luckily, they saved those 3 weapons. They actually paid off. A very aggressive push by Blamef, if I'm not mistaken, towards the long position. Probably down the ramp right there. Getting the first down, paid off his M4A4. And I'm also very interested about the space on this map, because if you take a look at the positions early on, it is usually cities who can be very mobile in terms of their movements. They can position themselves early on the middle and basically dictate a lot in the game early on. So I wonder how much impact it has on the city side. I think that on Ancient, city side is surely going to be a favorable side, because it is just so much easier to hold the positions, tuck yourself into all kinds of cubbies, and get an advantage in terms of your position. You know, that vantage point that will buy you extra kills. You can hide yourself behind the wall, you can toy around your enemy, and there is always some sort of unconfidence on whether you've checked the entire side. Because if I was to execute either of the sides, even if I checked everything around the map, I would be still a little bit in panic of whether I missed something along the way. So JKS is getting a little bit paranoid about that as well. This is why he's checking all the positions, goes twice for that check, then, you know, turns around on the left side as well. And this just tells you on the unawareness on the map. There just has been so little time for the players to adapt and really feel the approach of players, feel the tendencies. There is no single graph line that will tell you whether these players tend to position themselves on this part of the map as they are saving on this position specifically. It is so hard to come out pre-fire with a pre-fire angle whilst trying to hunt down your enemy. But this is why on Ancient it becomes way more risky for the team that tries to hunt down your enemy rather than the one who saves it. So in that sense, that makes a lot of difference. Like if you are, well, obviously if you are 5 against 1, you are having a healthy economy, you can afford that kind of risk. But when you are at least tiny bit economically down, then it will not be a very good idea to go for that that kind of a risk that may turn out into an avalanche. So keep an eye on that as well. The last player on the Complexity side managed to save his weapon. 2 rounds picked up in a row by Ninjas. Here comes a relatively bad buy for Complexity, but still more or less capable of showing something. With those 3 Deagles, 1 P250, and an AK-47 on the JKS that's been saved up. It was actually JKS to save up an AK-47 again, taking space down the middle, Res rushing himself down the short area. Rush throws a nade, shoot, touch. Device right there. I'm so surprised he's not even 1 HP off of his health bar. It looks like it landed on top of the box, I suppose. Another, slip up, you can say, of throwing your HEs because you don't know how it bounces off the wall and whether it will touch your opponent necessarily. So this is another, great point to practice as you are getting involved into the map exercises to understand where your enemies might be located. How do you calculate the trajectory of a nade bouncing off the wall and that can make a lot of difference. So never count it out whilst preparing for the map like that. JKS has got a prime angle right there. Rush distracts just enough attention for Plopsky to go down, and here comes another two to his name with the help of his teammate just behind the corridor. JKS hunts them all down, mops it up on the B-bomb site, and leaves no chance for the recovery. Great opening by Blamaf, then Rush denies their presence up towards ramp. And that is a great hold by Complexity yet again. Again, the problem of getting lost around the map, that is so influential. You better go with the entire squad and not get lost over one of the sides on the map, so it can be very risky. Ninja Pajamas are not going from the left side of the middle that comes out towards the left branch of the T-spawn. And this actually alleviates a lot of pressure from Complexity, because they are able to watch solely the left side of the map from their perspective, and nobody bothering them from the right of their own. So that may be an idea for Ninja Pajamas to change something up in their setup. And the reason why I'm not focused on, Config showing all those great kills, etc., is because I'm deeply involved into analyzing this map. This is actually the first time of me casting the match on this map, but still also worth not forgetting on the Complexities or anybody else getting those frags up. Blamaf comes out with 3 kills in total and brings it into a 2-on-5 in favor of Complexity, apparently so. Alan Zed brought down to 32 HP, but he still managed to get a frag with a Glock 18. Surprisingly so, but he still will experience his death in the end. A little bit sloppy for JKS in this one, but still not a lot of losses experienced for Complexity. Their economy will remain intact. Blamaf is on the hype. I would be on the hype as well if I had already one map secured, and knowing that Ancient is a neutral territory. A lot of unstable things happening on the map like that. And actually, Ninja Pajamas are this time around dispatching 2 of the players onto the left side of the T-spawn. We'll be trying to cause some pressure over that side of the map. Conflict, as usual, tucks himself into this funnel position. Oh, this one is deep. He has never been there before. Some fossils, some objects of new observations, of new investigation. Config playing with fire right there, throws out a smoke, but receives quite a few damage in reverse. In fact, going down to 37 HP. That hurts. But the same has been done to Ninja Pajamas in a little bit lower extent, of course, but still worth pointing it out. 3 of the defense players are stuck at the B-bomb side. Great time to catch off. Config jumping around. Rush falls down as well. And Ninja Pajamas have secured the B-bomb side for themselves. Again, Device comes in through the smoke with no awareness of Blame up close. That will be an easy frag for him, but another danger could be Hampus if Poison decided to lean himself even further. Does get a flick onto him, and that will be a shatter for Ninjas, as they are unable to save all 5 players, but 3 is also a good thing to know. So 3-on-3, the equalized save. Nobody will be getting over somebody on the scales. Yeah, great pick of the config just before he manages to get to the cubby. They force him out of the fight and make the B-bomb side crack open for the bomb plant. So Great results from NP so far. What do you think about the minimum cap of the minimum of picking up the rounds on the T side? Because as I've mentioned, I think that CDs are going to be heavily favored in this one. But I wonder, is like five rounds going to be okay for you on the T side? Probably yes. Like, considering the power of cities on this map specifically, it can be the case exactly so. Double protection over the funnel area. Conflict escorts back to this previous position, but Plopsky, oh no, he's just tripped over Conflict, but he does not realize here comes the frag, and yet another 4S to go down. Hampus finally gets a retort, but it is still a 3-on-4. The bomb is lined behind the doors. Molly deployed to keep them away from executing this side of the map. Prepare and execute. Flashbangs are going to be deployed, but the smoke is still present, which buys some extra time for Complexity to make rotations happen. Blamaf, hot on the heels, does go for that, but not needed. It is Poison and Rush all alone to decide their fates. And the 6th round for Complexity will mount straight away. Plopsky, no idea. He didn't even realize whether he had reached the wall or not, but, well, practically there was no difference between wall and Blamaf, because he would have been, and Conflict, because he would have been stuck there nonetheless. But against the wall, you'll be dealt with no damage rather than the players. So compared to players, it is way safer to send across the wall. Definitely so. So 3-round difference here on the score line. The round number 10 kicks in, and we are seeing Ninjas already navigating themselves to the right side of the T-spawn. Here they come, probably a fast execute down the short and long. And no, they are immediately slowing themselves down, just breaking out of those mid doors and making sure they secure long control again. If you remember, Blamaf in some round was pushing down this side of the map, so this time around doesn't want to poke himself any further off of his initial position. Device sees the first one out there, but there's still too much damage inflicted onto Ninjas Pajamas. They're all falling into pieces. Great spray down by the B-bomb side anchors, and down they fall right into the funnel. Hang on a second. There is already one funnel, but this one is better to call a ramp. They fall down into the ramp, into the slope, into a pit of death. Let's put it that way. All right. Yeah, it's been quite a casual molly thrown out towards long as teaser try to execute that. This is why Plopsky has been extinguishing that molly so many times. And once again, Config, he has been unbeatable in this position. Plopsky just cannot position his trigger disciplined the right way. And Config maybe looks for another one, but Raz anticipates it. He still gets a frag. Config, how many times are you going to be there to mount those kind of frags in a row? But Device takes it back. Great job done by him. And yet another as Blamaf cannot connect the full spray down right there. He's found a bit of a gap, but he will be run over by Poison. Down they fall. Another AWP shot potential, but no. This time around, it is lost. And JKS is left against one. I was going to say against two, but now, as he gets Hampus down, the bomb is on the cards as well. The molly deployed. Alan Z already in the angle. Smoke down, but he's not aware of Alan Z on the left side. No idea about that. Too late on reacting, and that will be the fourth for the ninjas. Wow, great opening by Device. Also checking that side by Config, and then Blamaf to finish to be finished off. Great job done by ninjas. But still heavily bruised in terms of their buy, not feeling comfy enough. And what they have right now, JKS. All right, this is the first time we are seeing the A-bomb set attack by ninjas. And this position, look at it go. Because they have no info about that, they had no experience executing the A-bomb set before. JKS may mount, may mow them all down from the back. He does get 2. That is enough. Before he finally falls, Blamaf does receive another frag on his scoreboard as they execute down the A-bomb site. Here comes the boost by Device. He drops one more fly down, and that is still a well-hauled A-bomb site by Blamaf Lords. No idea about JKS. They completely ignore the... I don't even know how do you say that. Like, they basically ignore the right side if you take a look at it from the city spawn. Don't even know how to call this position. Is it... Well, maybe tunnels, like left tunnel, right tunnel. It's definitely in the middle, but it is close to the ring, close to the donut, so to speak. That is just on the right side, opposite to these tunnels. So, all right, the A-bomb site has been completely abandoned, and Poison is gonna realize that they are already up close. Down they fall. Blamaf picks out one more, and no chance for ninjas to get the bomb down. They had a chance, actually. They could have done that, but because Poison went in too quick with Blamaf, they could not fulfill their dream out there. And their dream was probably to get the bomb down. I'm also wondering, how do you call that temple-like building on the A-bomb site where Poison was located? You know, there still has to be a lot of homework done in terms of learning the positions on the map. Blamaf again! The advantage of high ground pays off, and it looks for yet another spray down. It's not going to connect on either of the sides, but better for Blamaf because he does not lose his life in the process. Comfy comes in as well. Poison with an AWP frag. The smoke dissipates, but Device still gets them down before he finally receives a bullet down his spine. Ninjas will lose yet another round, and Complexity are on the 8th. Lopsky so far is 0 frags. That's a disaster. I have not seen it for a very long time where players did not manage to get a single frag on the round number 15. Complexity are having 10 rounds already. I actually misread that. I said that they are having 8, but they are actually having 10. The time is so fleeting. 3 Deagles for the ninjas and 2 Galils as well. The last round of the half will ring on the door of ninjas as they are not far away from getting 7 rounds away. If Complexity managed to pick up the 11th right here, they are going to have a huge round advantage on the map like Anshin. It is so huge. It is very hard to man up, to get your thoughts together on Anshin, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? It is so hard to decide how your enemy is going to be playing because you have 0 demos, you have 0 data to analyze. Because this is a fresh map for everyone, right? And there is no way you can be sure that they are going to be set up exactly the same way as they were set up in the previous game they played, for example. So these are the teams that are going to be always trying to do something, always trying to sniff the ground and adjust certain things on the map like Ancient. So with that said, we are going to find out how Ninjas in Pajamas will be feeling on the city side of Ancient. We'll see you after a short break. It Well, it turns out Complexity are only 5 rounds away from taking this map as well as the series. They have shown a very confident start on the city side of Ancient, really just clashing against NIP, showing no mercy against them, beating them down every single round in the final area as I mentioned before. Long if somebody wants to like it. That's been a complete meltdown for the ninjas. Not been able to find any ground right there. The only side of the map. And, well, not only the other side of the map, but basically they were trying to execute the B-bomb side many times. It was somewhat successful, but then tried to change up things towards the A-bomb side. The problem was JKS, who has been unchecked as well. And this is the reason you want to dig as deep as you're able to into the game. And I'm sure after this one, NIP will learn a lot from playing against teams on Ancient, and so will Complexity, because, well, it is a win-win situation where both teams will be able to capitalize on mistakes, on everything else, going deeper into investigation on how bad or good they've played. Blamaf raised the prices of Plopsky right there, gets the first down, and Complexity have already found their way to break onto the B-bomb side, secure the bomb plant, and already lock ninjas off the B-bomb side. They are away, and you can see how Complexity have already contaminated the place with their presence. Ninjas are not even getting closer to retaking the site. They are so far away, except for these 3 players who were actually finally pulling off the pedal. But JKS with the P250, not even angled onto Device, does get him down. Surprisingly, finally, he falls. But how much damage has he been able to put up against Ninjas? He gets the first, then the second, not even looking at the third, does somehow connect that shot as he was back into the right side of his position. Complexity are looking to finish this map as quick as they are able to. Ninjas Pajamas are so damn bruised, are so mentally annihilated. I mean, no mercy, as I've mentioned, from Complexity. Just pure dismantle for their T side on the first half, and this time around for the city as well. Now I've been able to bring any impact. Deagle's also a very powerful weapon. It is necessary to point out, if you're playing on the city side, lots of positions you can tuck yourself in to get that Deagle impact. Plopsky may need some help from this position. He will. And with that smattering, they will get 98 point of damage to the config. He's only on 2. The smoke in his hands may create some barrier for Ninjas retaking the B-bomb site if positioned correctly. Where is it going to be thrown? Right over there to block off that cave area. Rush is rushing out of the B-bomb set, has already cleared it out. Config with a great spray down, only 2 HP, and it's done just enough he needed to open the B-bomb side and allow Complexity to plant that bomb down. Plopsky caught up with the smoke. It already dissipates. But they don't have diffuse kits, unfortunately. Maybe LNZ has one, but I'm not exactly sure. No, it seems not. Device gets one down. Plopsky as well. But the time is ticking. Blamaf on top of the box. How is he unable to get a single frag? The diffuse will kick in. Rush has got to go right now, somehow, some way. But Ninjas retake the side in a phenomenal manner. All it took was Deagles. Something else. A bit of utility, a bit of determination to decide and retake the side. Device with a great frag. Plopsky as well. Then Hampus getting the position from Rush. Still a pretty good position for Complexity, despite Ninjas and Pajamas have won out this round. But, you know, for the moment, they are going to have a very bad buy. Eco, in fact, only 2 BT50s and 1 Deagle on the Blamaf. $2,000 left on their side. The T economy will allow them to have a very healthy buy going into the next round. Rez the only player on the A-bomb side, but the backup will come very quick, and it's actually doing everything on his lonesome, so not even any backup needed right there. Great hold by this young man, preventing Complexity from winning the round and planting the bomb down. Most importantly, not letting their economy skyrocket into the space, which is exactly this testament towards that. Blamaf is going to be having only Galil, of course. This is not something to be lamenting about, but still a tiny bit disadvantage that may cost you a little bit. LNZ has got a Galil as well, so pretty much equalized situation right there. Plopsky has been able to find 3 kills. Luckily, he is no longer at the 0 frag mark. But there is still a lot to be done. And you can see how cities are really pressuring the T side. It's like once you've been covered up with the smoke, you start wondering, is it the position you want to execute? Because if you take a look at the funnel position and actually Complexity know how powerful that side of the map is, they are not executing it whatsoever. But present this position, oh no, gets a little bit greedy and does not go for pulling off the trigger right there. The bomb plant is going to be committed right now. Here it comes. He's not gonna be down so far. Poison leans out. And Duskanact to Complexity are back in the lead. Back on their streak. The first round to continue that one. Yeah, great job from Complexity for checking that position. All of the choke points have been cleaned out. And no chance for Ninjas in Pajamas to put a stop to the commitment of Complexity out towards the A-bomb site. As I was talking about, be 100% sure that this position is locked out of being very critical for your offensive. Device takes an AWP shot in reverse. Very risky buy for Ninjas, but what else can they do? They need to win out this round. If they lose it, then more likely the 15th for Complexity. So be as exertive as you are able to. Try to rip that round apart from your enemy. This is the prime goal for you, Ninjas in Pajamas. Same for Complexity to crush Ninjas and close this map as soon as possible. Going for the full rotate through the T-spawn. It will be JKS, Blamaf, Rush joining together. Config is trailing behind from the back, just a couple of meters away. Will not make a lot of difference. They will eventually group up together and throw out the smokes over the A-bomb. So there is only one player right there, but that is the AWP. That can be very huge. Oh, what a position to be in. But Device whips that shot. He finally goes for the first to engage with. Success established right there. Goes for the flick. Not connected. And Config. Middle air shot will connect. But Res has something to say about non-satisfaction in this round. 3-on-2. Still a better position for Ninja Pajamas to be in. Rush. This is going to be a check by Res. No, it's not. 3 players with 3 letters in their name will go down. With only a couple of bullets from Rush. It is a one-on-one. Plopsky tries to go for that ambitious clutch. But that is the American squad appear on top. Wow. Yeah, very crucial round for Complexity indeed. Now they are way more settled down on this game. Blamaf spots out the first aggression, but that will be faded through the ring areas. Hampa's the only player remaining right there, but he has they've actually spotted the one player, so have no idea about the second, but they've already changed out their position dramatically. No longer having anybody towards that side of the map. Excuse me. Rush is on the wrap up through the ramp. I was going to say he had a chance to catch off Plopsky, but maybe he will indeed. He does drop him down. No awareness of his presence right there, and maybe a turnaround for Complexity. 3-on-4, no pistols available for the Ninjas, but Device still capable. Shows off what he's known for. The dig shots, the AWP, all is alive. He's got 16 frags so far, the biggest frag holder on the NIP side. Anshin has been a very problematic map for Ninjas so far in this game against Complexity. Complexity are definitely looking way fresher, way more accurate in terms of their firepower. A missed smoke. Oh, actually not. It actually goes just the right position. Config goes for the spray down, but somehow Device awaits that shot. And maybe Alan's that can come through to deny the bomb plant. He will indeed. Config just around the smoke will catch a bullet as well. And that is somehow, some way, but a round victory for the Ninjas. All thanks to Deagle by Device being very influential across the entire map. Getting the shots he need to turn that round upside down. And, you know, it reminds me a bit of Mirage, honestly. The same thing with force buys. Whenever you're seeing complexity or ninjas on that, in that position, they are pretty much capable, you know. They can, oh, what an awkward face-off against Hampus right there, but it still manages to deal just enough damage to get them down to half of HP. Here they come yet again. Mirage gets a frag, and so does Kolthik, I believe. Plopsky drops. What an example of complexity still. Converting those force buys. This is exactly what I was talking about. Exactly as we saw on Mirage. Lots of force buys won out for no reason. Yeah, you can understand it on Ancient. A pretty uncertain map. Destabilized for both of the teams. But Mirage, not the map you were thinking of. The bomb is going to be planted down. LNZ goes for the defuse. One player defends it. In fact, it's his Device to go for that one instead, but he will deliver it at the end of the day. Device just gifts NIP yet another round. They are on the 8th. And Complexity may start feeling a little bit sweaty. Of course, they deal a ton of damage onto Ninja's economy, but who cares about economy on Ancient, literally? At this point, it doesn't really matter. To be honest, it doesn't really matter what your economy is on Ancient, unless it is all 5 clocks across the map. Like, even if you were having 5 deagles, I would say that it's a 50-50 thing for both T's and cities. No matter who are you playing for, you know, when you're playing against a force buy, it is always a risky thing, especially on Ancient. Okay. We should probably start getting a little bit more serious about this map. Because while it looked like Valve rolled out this map as a joke, nobody believed that. Everybody anticipated Cobble to replace Train instead. Actually, nobody anticipated the replacement of Train, and especially for Ancient. That was a nonsense to the entire. It was a nonsense to the entire CS:GO community, which not everybody accepted. But at the end of the day, this is the reality we all live in. We have to adapt. The wall covering off Plopsky, but that is only a temporary moment. JKS will go for the bomb plant. Poison as well, gets one more from the back. He goes and stabs them with a bullet into their heads. Hampus from the flank will drop Poison down. It is still a 2-on-2 situation with the defuse kits out of LNZ, so don't take it quick. Go through the map and make sure you are doing everything correct. Hampus comes out with an incredible clutch as he swoops down all 2 players remaining on the site. After LNZ got dropped down, great job done by him. And you can see so many back and forth rounds, so many close ones, 2-on-2. But then Hampus make sure that clutch is driven in his favor. The second live tournament is going to be held in November 26th. That is going to be the Blast tournament. The first one is going to be the Major, which is, I believe, starting on 5th of November. So a little bit earlier. And I'm already hungry. I mean, I've accumulated such a big amount of hunger. A lot of hunger since the pandemic hit in. That was a very, very huge one. Plopsky finally does recover from a very dormant half. He had only 0 kills on the first half, and then he manages to get 6 on this one. Does get 2 in the round number 24. That is a significant job done by this guy, which gives Ninjas Pajamas not only number advantage, but also a mental advantage, because Complexity, they are on the B-bomb side. They will be allowed to come through, but still managing to get those frags. What are we witnessing? Yet again, another potential round for Complexity to be turned upside down? I do wonder. Is it going to be the case? A chunky nade to chop Poison down to 40 HP. That should be enough still to connect a shot if positioned correctly. Device sees it coming, probably, but he's not. Res has been brought down to very low HP, and JKS gets 2 in a row. It is his turn to shine in this round, rises to the occasion, and gets them buried right to the ground. Complexity are having the match point. Back-to-back fire towards the cave area, and then JKS with a great spray down to the second as well. He was very low on HP, the last player to fall down on the Neep side, so sadly. But this is the last round separating Complexity from picking up this map, and so is the series. A tactical pause used by them. Yep, they want to talk things through. They want to close it as soon as possible. We haven't seen a lot of tactical pauses taken by either of the teams, because, you know, it seems like Anshin is such an obvious map. Rush gets refreshed. He probably talked to Refresh and asked for the refreshing routine to get rejuvenated. And this is the way he did that. You know, wiggling his face to the right and to the left. Trying to wake up. Although he has been awakened in this game. Pretty nice. Up to 20 HP. His stance, well, probably all of the players are showing off what they should. Ninjas Pajamas are underperforming on this one. So many players are not connecting the shot they need, and that has been the main problem for them to lose the map of Anshin. Perhaps, unless Alan Z has something to say about that. No, he's not having anything to be talking about, to have any consideration, to have any conversation with Ninjas. No haggle for them. 2 of the players are remaining, and that will be a great flashbang, although a team frag delivered, but still an easy peasy round to be picked up from Complexity to close the match in their favor. So congratulations. Glorious play on Anshin, as somebody would put it, but that has not been actually. All of the teams are making so many mistakes. But overall, it's been pretty clean from Complexity. They are connecting the shots they need. They are doing everything right, catching Ninjas Pajamas from the flanks, basically having a position advantage over their enemies every single round. So that bought them a huge vantage point against Complexity, and we are seeing it coming to the end, managing to take over Ninjas Pajamas in a 2-0 fashion. We will be handing it over to our desk before moving on to the next matches. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Go grab a cup of coffee and get back for a new portion of Scene.